Disneyland is your land.
He comes seeking adventure as the old pirates, eh?
Make the jump to light speed.
Welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm TC. Before we head off to Neverland, please like and subscribe. And we wanted to mention our Shopify store, Magicland Media. We sell superlative framed and stretched park photography and canvas prints. There's a link in the description. Thanks, everyone.
Now let's head to the second star on the right and straight on till morning.
Peter Pan's Flight opened at Disneyland in 1955 with the park as one of its opening headline attractions. It was the most recent animated feature to have been released prior to the opening of Disneyland.
The ride vehicle is a flying ship called a galleon, which is suspended from a track. You get the sensation of flying over the rooftops of London and into Neverland.
The track was very innovative at the time. WED designers and engineers worked with a mechanical track company, the Cleveland Tram Rail Company, that had never dabbled in amusements or rides before to pull it off. They built the first track at Walt Disney Studios to see if it would work.
The attraction was intended to give riders the sensation of experiencing Peter Pan's flight firsthand, so much so that Peter himself was not included in the original version, though he was soon added.
Peter Pan's Flight was added to Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom when it opened in 1971. And much like at Disneyland, it remains one of the park's most popular rides to this day.
In fact, Peter Pan's Flight can be found at every castle park, with the exception of Hong Kong Disneyland.
You can fly with Peter and Wendy at Tokyo Disney. That version opened in 1983, and also at Disneyland Paris, where it was added in 1992.
All of these are still operating, and many have had a lot of improvements and refurbishments made over the years, adding effects and magic. We think each version has something about it that really makes it unique and special.
The original version at Disneyland has a beautiful show building, and our favorite, a tiny internal projector inside Big Ben, animating the children and Peter landing on its hands.
The Walt Disney version of Peter Pan's Flight has grand scale Peter and Hook fighting atop the mainsail of the Jolly Roger and an incredible interactive queue.
Peter Pan's Flight at Tokyo Disney has a newly installed scene where you fly over Neverland at nighttime and you get a unique view of the Lost Boys hideout and the Mermaid Lagoon.
There are also going to be new Peter Pan themed attractions coming to Tokyo Disney Sea's new land, Fantasy Springs, which includes a Neverland themed area opening in 2024.
Disneyland Paris has lots of wonderful details. There's smoke coming out of the chimney in the queue, and there's so many cool fiber optic details. The lighting on the flight to Neverland, and there's another one as Tinkerbell douses the Jolly Roger in pixie dust. It's amazing.
But the sixth and most recent version of Peter Pan's Flight, which opened at Shanghai in 2016, is the most impressive Neverland ride experience we've seen yet.
This version starts at the serene Kensington Gardens. There is both a two-dimensional painted style as well as an actual 3D diorama with more depth than the other versions have. In an early version of J.M. Barrie's story, Peter lived at Kensington Gardens inside London.
The ride vehicles have been fairly consistent in every version, but these do have a larger capacity that can seat 6 to 8 people.
As you wait your turn to head into the nursery, Disney distracts you with Tinkerbell here, waving and then trying to avoid being eaten by a bold frog.
As you head forward, this version lets you see the streets of London with its stately townhouses at sunset, and you get a sense of location before you even head into the Darling household.
What we really love about this version is how well it blends the practical and animated elements. This version has animatronics of Peter, Tinkerbell, Wendy, John, and Michael all getting dusted with pixie dust for their flight in the nursery. In every other version, Peter is represented as a projected shadow.
You get to see the flying Nana waving goodbye as you head up over the rooftops. This iconic moment from the film is such a wonderful added touch.
The flight over London scene seems to be in a tighter space than other versions, but it beautifully homages the original Disneyland version, though without its special Big Ben clock tower.
But it's cool getting to see the kids flying alongside you, and the second star to the right is really well framed. Some other versions, it's really easy to notice the projection surfaces for it. The star panel also swings open, revealing the Neverland vista in a unique and impressive way.
The flight over Neverland is familiar and does not deviate much from other versions, except to include Skull Rock amongst its miniatures.
Then, as you start to fly down closer to the land and into the trees, you notice just how well the music supports what you are doing, and then you splash, sploosh into the water with a really cool animated effect.
As you pass through a Skull Rock scene that focuses on Hook, Peter, and Tink, you get to see some really incredible blending of audio animatronics and projected animation. but it's just a setup for what is about to come.
As you turn the corner, another set of doors open, revealing the Jolly Roger scene. There is so much going on here, it's hard to catch it all, and it definitely leaves you wondering how they pulled it all off.
You zigzag, flying around the entire Jolly Roger. The ship is full of animatronics featuring Tick-Tock Croc, Wendy on the plank, and the boys and pirates looking on as we've seen in other versions. But an animated Peter and Hook are vigorously fighting on the sails and on hidden screens above.
The creative use of different and often hidden or transparent projection surfaces is really amazing and makes this perhaps the most enjoyable and exciting scene of any Peter Pan ride ever. Well, at least so far.
When Hook, which we see as a shadow fighting with Peter behind the sail, is seen walking out full color into thin air, it blows our minds. It's one of our favorite finales of any Peter Pan's flight.
You get a classic final look at Hook trying to stay out of the mouth of Tick-Tock Croc, calling to Smee before we get a final farewell scene with Peter, Wendy, and the gang. Though this happens in front of the Lost Boys hideout, it's interesting to note that the Lost Boys, Tiger Lily, and several other characters are omitted from this ride.
The final Peter animatronic is easily the most advanced and impressive animatronic currently used on any Peter Pan's flight attraction. It looks really good.
We love that not only do we get to see Tink pixie dust the Jolly Roger, but our ride vehicle, our galleon, gets dusted as well, so we have the magic we need to fly back to London. It's really a wonderful moment.
And to add some really impressive closure to this version, you fly through the face of Big Ben before returning back to Disneyland reality.
We love everything about this ride, from the music to the timing to the blending of practical and animated effects.
Well, what do you folks think? How many versions of Peter Pan's flight have you ridden? Let us know in the comments.
Well, that's it for us today. Thanks so much for joining us.
May the light in the firehouse window always shine brightly, and may your dreams always come true.
See you real soon, Mouseketeers.